Hello, this is Mrs. Raro, and I'm here to show you guys how to multiply exponents, how to raise them to a power, and also how to divide them. Okay, so let's begin. So when you multiply exponents, first of all, they have to have the same base. And if they have the same base, then you can add the exponents. So for example, if you have 3 to the second power, that means 3 times 3, and 3 to the third power, that means 3 times 3 times 3. So when you multiply these two and these three, then you have 5 of them in total. All right, so you can simplify them by adding the exponents. All right, so let's try. So say we have this, and it's asking us to fully simplify. So this means 16 times negative 15, and an x squared times x to the fifth power, and then y to the second power times y to the fifth power. All right, so first we're going to do 16 times negative 15, and that becomes negative 240. And then we will do x squared times x to the fifth power, which becomes x to the seventh power. And then we will do y to the second power times y to the fifth power, which becomes y to the seventh power. So altogether, this is your final answer. All right, so let's say you do this and see if you can get this correctly. Okay, so first we're going to multiply our coefficients. Negative 7 times 35 is times 5 is negative 35. And then there is no other x to the third power, can't combine with anything else, so I'm just going to bring it down, x to the third power, mark that as green. And then in blue, y to the fourth power times y becomes y to the fifth power. And this is your final answer. Okay? All right, let's try another one. And this is my last one. Try to do this on your own. Okay, so that is 3 times 2, which is the coefficient, making it 6. And then x cubed times x squared becomes x to the fifth power. And then y to the third power times y to the fourth power becomes y to the seventh power. All right, and this is your final answer. All right, and that's it. That's how you multiply exponents. Okay. I'm sorry, that's how you would multiply same base. You would add the exponents. All right, so let's move on to the next rule. All right, this is power to a power. All right, so say you have 4 squared and you're raising it to the fifth power. That means 4 squared happens 5 times. So this is 4 squared times 4 squared times 4 squared times 4 squared times 4 squared. There were 2 of the 4's here, plus the 2 here, plus the 2 here, plus the 2 here, plus the 2 here. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, 5 times becomes 10. So in short, whenever you're raising a power to a power, you're multiplying the two powers together. Okay? So let's take a look at this one. So again, this is not negative 4 times 3, all right? This is negative 4 to the third power. And then this is x to the fourth power to the third power. And then this is y to the fourth power to the third power. Okay, that is the long way. All right, so but we are not multiplying this coefficient with this exponent. Okay, now we're going to say this is negative 4 to the third power, which is negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4, which is negative 64. Okay, and then in green, this is x to the fourth power to the third power. Power to a power, you're going to multiply the powers. So this is 4 times 3. So this is x to the 12th power. All right, and then lastly, again, this is y to the fourth power times 3 becomes y to the 12th power. So this is your final answer. Okay? All right, let's see you do this and simplify. All right, so pause this video and see if you could do this on your own. Okay, so I'm going to expand it. Again, this is negative 6 to the fourth power. Okay, and then this is x to the third power to the fourth power, and this is y to the fourth power, right? So I'm going to say this is negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6. I think in this case, you probably will need a calculator to know what is 36 times 36, which is 1,296, okay? And then x to the third power to the fourth power becomes x to the 12th power because you're multiplying 3 times 4. And then there is no other y to the fourth powers, variable, so that's it. I'm just going to bring that down, okay? All right, let's see you try this one on your own. Okay, so this is negative 4 to the fourth power, and then x to the fourth power raised to another fourth power, and then y to the fifth power raised to the fourth power. All right, so again, negative 4 to the fourth power is negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4, which is positive 16 times 16, which is 256. Okay, and then this is x to the fourth power to the fourth power becomes x to the 16th power, and then this is y to the fifth power to the fourth power becomes y to the 20th power. And this is your final answer. Okay, and that is how you raise power to a power. All right. In this next step, I'm going to teach you how to divide exponents. So when you have the same base that's raised to powers or exponents, you're going to subtract the exponents. Why? Because if you have 5 to the 7th power, then you have 7 of these 5s being multiplied together. And if you have 5 to the 4th power in the denominator, then you have 4 of these 5s being multiplied together, in which 4 of these 5s and the 4 in these 5s will cancel out and you're left with 3. So that's why you're subtracting your exponents, okay? So let's begin. So let's say this is 30x cubed y, and then divided by 20x to the fifth y squared. So with division, you're always going to be dealing with simplifying fractions as well, right? So first, let's simplify 30 over 20. So 30 over 20 becomes 3 over 2, all right? So that's our first term, 3 over 2, all right? Now we're going to simplify x to the third power and x to the fifth power. So if you think about x to the third power and x to the fifth power and you apply that rule, you're going to get x to the negative 2 power. But wait a minute, it's asking us to use only positive exponents. So let's backtrack because this is a negative exponent. Let's think about how many x's there are in the numerator and then how many x's there are in the denominator. So you can see why you have a negative exponent, because the 3x's at the top will cancel out with the 3x's at the bottom. And guess what? You're left with the 2x's. So this becomes x squared in the denominator. So x squared is in the denominator, okay? And then same thing here. With the y values, you only have y to the first power and y to the second power. So you have 2 y's at the denominator, but 1 y in the numerator. The 1 y in the numerator cancels out with the 1 y in the denominator, leaving you with 1 y in the denominator. So altogether, your final answer should be 3 in the numerator and then 2x squared times y in the denominator. So this is your final answer, okay? This is a little bit challenging, but if you apply the method right here where I'm canceling out, it should click, all right? So let's go for the next question. So let's try this. So again, we're going to take our coefficients, 20 and 4. So we're going to divide 20 divided by 4. So we know we have a 5, right? 5 in the numerator because this is 5. This is considered 5 over 1. Okay, so let's keep it that way. And then x to the 8th power divided by x to the 8th power. This is going to cancel each other out to just a 1. Okay, so we're not saying this is 0. We're saying this is 1. Okay. And then y to the third power divided by y to the first power becomes y to the second power because 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So altogether, in the numerator, we have a 5, a 1, and a y squared. And in the denominator, we have a 1, 1, 1. So that means, simplified, this is 5 times 1, which is 5, and then y squared. So this is your final answer. Okay. All right, let's try one more together. This is 30 x to the 6th power, y to the 5th, divided by 18x cubed, y cubed. So why don't you try this one on your own and then see if you get the right answer. Okay, again, same thing. We're going to start with our coefficients. So 30 divided by 30 divided by 18, you can divide by 6. Okay, so if you divide by 6, you'll get 5 over 3, right, reduced. So now we're going to move on to our x's. So x to the 6th power divided by x to the 3rd power. Since the numerator is larger than the denominator, I can go ahead and subtract. So 6 minus 3 becomes 3. Okay, and then we have y to the 5th power divided by y to the 3rd power. Again, the same idea. Since the numerator's exponent is greater than the denominator's exponent, then I'm going to get a positive exponent of y squared when you subtract. So altogether, I have a 5 in the numerator, an x cubed, and a y squared. And in the denominator, I have a 3. So putting that together, that's 5x cubed y squared divided by 3. Okay. Or you can also write it as 5/3 x cubed y squared. This is also the same. All right. And that is it. Thank you for watching.